Bucks Nation, stop what you're doing and lock in. Because what just went down in our preseason battle with Pittsburgh wasn't just football, it was survival, heartbreak, and the birth of a star. One moment had fans gasping in fear, and the very next, a rookie turned that fear into fire, delivering a performance so powerful that NFL analysts are already comparing him to one of the league's most dominant wide receivers. This is the kind of story that changes everything. Saturday night in Tampa Bay wasn't just another preseason game, it felt like a glimpse into the future of this franchise. The Bucks walked into that stadium against Pittsburgh with questions, doubts, and pressure. And what happened out there told us everything about the depth, toughness, and heart of this team. The game took a terrifying turn early when wide receiver Jalen McMillan went down with an injury. In that instant, Raymond James Stadium went silent. Fans held their breath. Coaches froze, and you could almost feel the weight of the moment because nobody wanted to see one of our young stars get hurt before the season even begins. But here's the part that makes this story unforgettable. Instead of crumbling under the pressure, Tampa Bay's receiving core showed exactly why this team is built different. Out of that fear rose an opportunity, and rookie Emeka Egbuka didn't just step up, he stormed onto the field like he was born for the moment. On the very next drive, with Teddy Bridgewater leading the offense down the field, Egbuka got his chance. One throw, one catch, one electric play, and suddenly the narrative flipped. What started as a nightmare turned into a showcase of resilience and raw talent. Egbuka's performance was so strong, so commanding, that even national analysts like NFL Network's Christian Gonzalez said this might have been the moment that earns him serious playing time moving forward. Think about that for a second, a rookie thrown into the fire after a teammate's injury, proving he can be trusted right away. This wasn't just a preseason highlight. This was a statement. And when your franchise quarterback is already making comparisons between Egbuka and some of the NFL's elite, that's when you know something special is brewing in Tampa Bay. This wasn't just about one catch. It was about resilience after fear, about a rookie seizing his destiny, and about a franchise showing its championship DNA even in preseason. I've got to know, after what you saw from Egbuka Saturday night, how confident are you in this rookie becoming a day one playmaker? Drop your confidence level in the comments. 1 being, not ready yet. 10 being, this kid is the future. When you talk about defining moments for a rookie, this was it. Emeka Egbuka, fresh out of Ohio State, didn't just catch his first preseason touchdown. He earned it with pure skill, smarts, and toughness. This wasn't some lucky grab. No, this was a play that screamed NFL ready. Picture it. Second preseason game, pressure high, backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater leading the charge. The ball snaps, the Steelers' defense tightens, and here comes Egbuka. But instead of panicking, the rookie used veteran-level technique, leaning his body just enough to slow down the defender, creating that tiny bit of space. That's not instinct. That's craft. That's the kind of savvy you expect from a polished veteran, not a kid who's only been in the league for a few months. And then, boom, a 5-yard strike into the end zone. Touchdown Tampa Bay. His first in the NFL, and Bucks fans, it wasn't just points on the board. It was a signal to the rest of the league, this kid can play. Now let's talk about why this matters even more. The Buccaneers are dealing with injuries, Rachaad White nursing a groin issue, Jalen McMillan recovering from that scare, and Chris Godwin still battling his ankle. Normally, that would leave a huge hole in the offense, but Egbuka's emergence changes everything. Instead of panic, the Bucks now have another weapon who can carry the load, who can keep this offense explosive while the vets heal. General Manager Jason Licht made it clear, drafting Egbuka wasn't just about the future, it was about insurance. About making sure the offense stays dangerous, no matter what. And after what we saw against Pittsburgh, that strategy looks like genius. Let's be honest, Bucks Nation, we cannot afford another slow start like last season. Scraping into the playoffs after playing catch-up all year? That's not the championship standard. This year, it has to be different. We need firepower from week 1. And right now, Egbuka looks like the guy who can deliver it. But while we celebrate his breakout, we can't ignore the moment that opened this door. The injury to Jalen McMillan wasn't just scary, it was the kind of scene that makes every fan's heart stop. And the toughness McMillan showed in that moment deserves just as much attention as Egbuka's heroics. So tell me, Bucks fans, after watching Egbuka's first touchdown, where do you rank him on this offense? Is he a top 3 receiver already, or does he still need to prove more? Drop your take in the comments. Let's see how confident you are in this rookie. Bucks Nation, there are moments in football when everything just stops. Moments when the game doesn't matter, the scoreboard doesn't matter. All that matters is the health of the man lying on the field. And that's exactly what happened when Jalen McMillan went down against Pittsburgh. On a routine catch from Teddy Bridgewater, McMillan was flipped in the air and came crashing down hard. The stadium went dead silent. Our second-year receiver wasn't moving at first. Trainers rushed in, teammates dropped to a knee, and you could see the fear in every fan's eyes. It looked like it could be devastating. McMillan was immobilized and eventually walked off under his own power, but not before being ruled out with a back injury and placed in concussion protocol. For a moment, the entire fan base held its breath, wondering if this was the kind of injury that could change everything. But here's where the story shows who Jalen McMillan really is. Hours later, instead of disappearing into silence, he jumped on Instagram to calm everyone down. His message was simple, emotional, and powerful. God is amazing. Don't worry, y'all. I'm straight. Think about that. Right after one of the scariest moments of his young career, his first instinct was to comfort the fans. That's heart. That's character. That's what it means to be a Buccaneer. Thankfully, early reports suggest McMillan avoided a major catastrophe, but his return timeline is still unclear. With Chris Godwin still recovering from last year's injury, the Bucs badly need McMillan back in the rotation as soon as possible. His ability to get open, his chemistry with Baker, and his toughness are all critical to this offense firing on all cylinders from week 1. But until he returns, the spotlight shifts to the rookie. Emeka Egbuka is stepping up fast, sliding into major snaps alongside Mike Evans. Luckily, Baker Mayfield has never been afraid to spread the ball around, and that unselfish style could help cover for the temporary loss. Still, this is why Tampa Bay invests so heavily in depth. When one player goes down, another is ready to rise and carry the torch. And just when fans thought this story couldn't get any more electric, Baker Mayfield himself added fuel to the fire. In a recent interview, our franchise quarterback dropped a jaw-dropping comparison that tells you exactly how high this team's belief is in the rookie. Baker compared Emeka Egbuka to none other than Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the most dominant wide receivers in the entire NFL today. That's not just hype. That's your quarterback saying, this rookie has the tools to be a star. So here's my question, Bucs Nation. Do you believe Baker is right? Is Emeka Egbuka truly on the path to becoming Tampa Bay's own version of Amon-Ra St. Brown? Drop your answer in the comments, because this debate is just getting started. Bucs Nation. When your franchise quarterback starts comparing a rookie to one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, you know something special is happening. And that's exactly what Baker Mayfield just did with Emeka Egbuka. Baker didn't hold back. He said Egbuka reminds him of Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Detroit Lions superstar who has been named first-team All-Pro in back-to-back years and has made the Pro Bowl every season since 2022. Think about that for a second. We're not talking about an average starter. We're talking about one of the toughest, most productive, most reliable receivers in the entire league. That's the bar Baker just set for our rookie. And here's what makes this comparison so powerful. Mayfield pointed out that Egbuka doesn't just make the catch, he runs through it. He fights for extra yards. He refuses to go down. That's a trait only the elite possess. Plenty of receivers can haul in a pass, but the great ones? They turn every single catch into an opportunity for more. That's what makes Amon-Ra St. Brown so deadly, and Baker sees that exact same fire in Egbuka. Look at the similarities. St. Brown stands 6'0", 203 pounds. Egbuka is 6'1", 205 pounds. Almost identical builds. Both are versatile enough to dominate in the slot, but dangerous enough to shift outside and still win battles. Both came out of Big Ten schools. Both built their reputation on toughness, consistency, and a relentless motor. Now, let's be real, Egbuka has a long way to go before he reaches St. Brown's status as an All-Pro. But here's the exciting part. If the foundation is already there, and if his development keeps accelerating at this pace, the Bucs may have struck gold with the 19th overall pick. Imagine adding a player of St. Brown's caliber alongside Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. That's not just depth, that's a nightmare for opposing defenses. And this story gets even better. We don't have to wait years for the comparison to be tested. In Week 7, the Buccaneers will head to Detroit to face the Lions. That means Egbuka will be on the same field as the very player he's being compared to. It's not just a game, it's a measuring stick. Can our rookie stand tall next to the All-Pro? Can he prove that Baker's words weren't just praise, but prophecy? Bucks Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you think Emeka Egbuka can live up to this massive comparison? Will Week 7 against Detroit be his I've arrived moment? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is about to explode. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture, Bucks Nation. Because what we just witnessed over these past few games isn't just random preseason noise, it's the foundation of something powerful. Yes, Emeka Egbuka still has a lot to learn. He's a rookie. He's adjusting to the speed of the NFL, to the physicality, to the spotlight. But the way he's handled every opportunity so far, it tells us he's not just surviving out there, he's thriving. That touchdown against Pittsburgh, that body control, that confidence, that wasn't beginner's luck. That was a young player showing he's already ahead of schedule. Then you add in the emotional toughness of Jalen McMillan. He goes down in a scary, almost heartbreaking moment, and instead of hiding away, he immediately reassures fans, God is amazing. Don't worry, I'm straight. That's leadership. That's resilience. That's what you want to see in a young core player who will be a major part of this offense moving forward. And topping it off, the words of Baker Mayfield, a quarterback who's been around stars, who's thrown to some of the best talent in football, and he's comparing our rookie to Amon-Ra St. Brown, one of the league's most dominant, all-pro receivers. That's not a small statement. That's belief. That's confidence. That's your QB saying, I trust this guy. When you put all of this together, you see exactly what makes Tampa Bay different. Rookies stepping up when their number is called. Veterans showing heart and character when adversity strikes. A front office that drafts with vision and nails their evaluations. This isn't luck. This is culture. This is what it means to be a Buccaneer. And Bucks Nation, the question now isn't if this team will fight through adversity, it's how far they can go once they do. Because with depth like this, with toughness like this, with talent rising at every level, this season has the potential to be something truly unforgettable. So let me ask you, which moment fired you up the most? Egbuka's first touchdown? McMillan's courage? Or Baker Mayfield's jaw-dropping comparison? Drop your answer in the comments, because these stories are the heartbeat of what makes this team special.